Hey guys, it is Friday, which means we're going to go over some of the biggest things that happened in gaming this week and let you know what we think about them. Be sure to weigh in down in that comment section. But for now, here's what we thought.
Jess, what's the most popular multiplayer genre at the moment?
Battle Royale.
What's a game that you haven't thought about in a little while that involves parkour and zombies?
Dying Light.
Could we possibly mash those together?
Well, I mean, it is kind of happening, not quite at Battle Royale level, but a expansion is coming out for Dying Light called Bad Blood. Mm-hmm. Yes, that Bad Blood, not the Taylor Swift one. And basically what it's going to do is provide a way for PvP to be injected into the game. Techland has said that Bad Blood is a response to the recent popularity of the Battle Royale genre, but the mode will only be for 6 players. So it blends PvP with PvE. You and 5 other players are dropped into a hostile area, you're fighting a bunch of zombies, but at the same time you have to evacuate before night falls. So you're going to want to be scavenging for weapons while harvesting blood samples from the infected. So you can ally with other players against zombies, but at the same time you can also turn on those allies to steal their samples. And then ultimately the more samples you harvest, the more evacuation seats on the chopper are unlocked. But everyone pays for their own seat individually. So if you want to play nice or you want to play not so nice, that's up to you.
Sounds like a cool kind of like mashup of Battle Royale and The Division's Dark Zone. That sounds really cool.
I think it works well for them that they're not just like going the 100-player route as well. It's nice to see them doing something that fits their game a little better.
Totally.
But yeah, if you're a fan of Dying Light, that's going to be something to look forward to. Sounds like it should be arriving sometime in 2018.
Oh boy, it's the season of giving.
Yes, it is a season of giving.
It is, for once, I got something right. Ubisoft as well, in the giving spirit, they're giving away 2 free games this month in December, and also you can get into a free beta that's starting tomorrow. You can get into the Monster Hunter World beta on PS4 and run around two locations, and there's 3 missions where you can hunt a bunch of weird giant monsters that have really funny names that I'm not even going to attempt to say, but you'll need PlayStation Plus to take part in that, and about 6 gigabytes of free space. But you can play through it all solo or with up to 3 of your buds, and in all the missions you complete, you will unlock a reward in the full game when it comes out. So Monster Hunter World beta, get into that on PS4 this weekend. And if you've got a PC.
Yeah, if you're more of a PC person, as Dan said, Ubisoft are giving away Assassin's Creed Black Flag starting in a few days' time, I believe.
Starting on the 12th, yes.
But right now you can pick up World of Conflict, and both of those are totally free on PC. The only thing you're going to need is a Uplay account, and then you can just download them and keep them. So if you're looking for something to play over the holidays.
Yeah, I would recommend World of Conflict. It's pretty cool. It's a good RTS. And then, of course, I still think Black Flag is the best Assassin's Creed. But that's just because the whole time the main character makes fun of all the dumb assassin stuff, and I think that's really cool. And also there's pirates and sailing ships around and sea shanties. Oh man, I'm gonna play that.
So Dan, the internet is mad. They've been mad for a few days. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty justified, to be honest. I was mildly appalled when I saw this story. So obviously right now is a really bad time to be a developer who does not appear to be consumer friendly.
Oh boy.
What's basically happened with Destiny 2, with the Curse of Osiris expansion coming out, is that some content that was previously accessible towards end/late game is now locked behind the paywall of actually owning the DLC.
Sort of behind the paywall. So what happened with the Curse of Osiris expansion? It increased the level cap and also the power level cap. So it went from 20 to 25, and I think the power level is now 350 or something like that. So some of the higher end activities have seen their level caps raised more in line with the new level caps, but people who didn't, jump on the Curse of Osiris bandwagon have now found they can't access things like Prestige Nightfall, Prestige Raid, because now the level requirement is too high for them to ever get to.
That's
because
crazy.
they can't get any of the new gear. So if you don't know how Destiny 2's levels work, there's 2 level systems. There's your core level, which is earned through XP, and then there's your power level, which is basically an overall average level of all of your guns and armor, and that's what you use to get into high-end activities.
Yeah.
And the only way to get up to that 350 level is to get the new equipment that's available in Curse of Osiris. So there you go. You can't get to it. But it's also, it looks a little, it could be problematic in the future because stuff like the Nightfall strike things that come up. So it's a random strike every week. It could be an Osiris-centric strike. So if you don't have that DLC, you're not going to be able to do the Nightfall that week. So stuff like that is already starting to worry players, and they've been quite vocal about it on the old Reddit.
What do you think about this, Dan? I know you have the expansion, but like that aside, bias aside, like what do you think about it?
Destiny's a weird one for me, because I remember this happened with the first expansion, the Dark Below, on in Destiny 1. And I've always thought of Destiny not as buying Destiny 2 as that being all of Destiny 2 has to offer. I've always thought that in order to get to actually play Destiny, you have to buy the expansions.
That is such a problematic sentence.
I know, I agree, and I agree that sucks. Like, that is a terrible way to look at it and stuff like that, that it's going to lock you out of all of these new activities. I think the fact that that's always been a problem that Bungie has had by having stuff like Nightfall strikes and then introducing new strikes and expansions, I guess they would say it's a way to try and get people to get on board with the expansions because they also fix a lot of things. But it's a problematic way to design your game from the get-go.
Telling people, like, because DLC is one thing, right? Being like, you pick up Curse of Osiris, you get extra single-player content or something. That makes sense to me. But letting people access things at some stage and then locking them out from it in the future because of what's happened with the level cap adjustments here seems like an issue. Saying if you want to access those things again, you need to dish out $20, $30 seems like a problem.
To play devil's advocate, because I know our audience loves when I play devil's advocate. These activities that people are being locked out from are quite high-end activities, like Prestige Nightfall and Prestige Raid are something that a hardcore Destiny player would do. Not someone like me, not someone like you. We would probably never ever get into the Prestige stuff.
But don't you think you can be a hardcore Destiny player without buying the expansion?
I don't think so, because if you're a hardcore Destiny player, we want to see everything that Destiny has to offer, and that unfortunately means buying those expansions when they come out. Because especially looking at the example of Destiny 1, when they brought out this second expansion, that completely changed so much of the core game and added in so much more content and things to do. And I do understand people are a little upset about the amount of content that is in Destiny 2 and also the amount of content that's on offer from Curse of Osiris. So yeah, I think it's a really unfortunate time that Bungie, again, haven't really learnt any lessons from Destiny 1 and employed them in any kind of meaningful way in Destiny 2, and it's clearly the audience is definitely saying that as well.
As these things sometimes go, Bungie did update the situation after we shot this episode. They released a weekly blog post that says, "We are aware that there are some Destiny 2 trophies and achievements that have become unavailable to players who have not purchased Curse of Osiris. We are committed to fixing this issue and are currently investigating a solution. Please stay tuned for more updates on this topic as progress is made." We're not sure exactly what they're going to do or how they're going to rectify that problem, but it sounds like it's at least been acknowledged as an issue.
That's everything we have for you this week, and I'm sure we missed, I bet you, like, Hideo Kojima announced some, like, crazy David Hayter-like friggin' cameo.
PT's back, Silent Hills.
Something at the Game Awards
trilogy
that
now.
we've missed out because we shot this on Thursday just before the Game Awards were on. But PlayStation Experience is this weekend, and we at GameSpot will be covering all of that for you. So please do check in over the weekend for everything from that, and we will see you guys on Monday.
Do you remember all our Gertie content is on site now as well? That's Game of the Year for those who don't speak in acronyms like we do.
What will be Game of the Year? Let us know what you reckon. I reckon it's going to be...
You can't say because you know what our Game of the Year is. We'll see you next week.
Big news that we didn't cover from the Game Awards because, well, we're shooting this before the Game Awards.
Yeah, but we're going to be bringing a bunch of news updates on site throughout the Game Awards, and we're streaming it live, which means nothing to you because it's in the past.
That's...
Oh boy!